I have been an artist since I was, as far as I can remember. I don't really do it, art, for money. Almost everything is based off of some sort of drawing. There are faces in it. The faces would get a bubble and say whatever I needed to remember. There is a world that is not necessarily ours. It's like it's a place that you could be. Ria Majeva, she really emphasized that there's really beauty in everything. The things that the general public would consider ugly, there's a lot of beauty there. Everything is really just made up of lots and lots of lines. Be able to see things. I make my own canvases and frames. Making my own canvases and stretching my own frame is part of the process for me. My original degree was in sculpture, there's no storage for that type of thing. I threw a garage full of artway. I had a 7-foot tall sculpture made out of televisions. I do have a few things left. I have a ton of respect for Michelangelo and Rembrandt. Michelangelo, he is such an inspiration to me because he had a way of seeing the edges of things as built up of lines. That is the basis for what I was taught. I have all this respect for him. If you go back and look at his artwork, he was breaking the rules. In his art, you can see that he knows what he's doing, and then later on, specifically isn't doing. He knows how to draw the human body, but later, he start to add muscle groups that don't exist. Rembrandt. The use of Michelangelo's lines are like the greatest ever. Rembrandt's use of color and light and dark is incomparable. I can see a Rembrandt from across the room and I know it's Rembrandt. There are people that copy the style and stuff, but there's something about his artwork that just pow. Dream collaboration, Salvador Dali. I could see spending the day with him. It wouldn't be just the making of art, it would just be the experience of spending the day with him. He was more than just an artist. Street art, I actually do graffiti lessons with my students. Art is about building up your layers. Some of my favorite stuff when we travel is looking to find some country's graffiti. Legal spray walls. This type of stuff, I am 100% a supportive of. Why would I want a big flat gray wall, when it can be covered in some art? A month from now, it's not gonna exist anymore. I think there's something special about that. As far as Banksy, I've always but had a lot of respect. He has led me to a greater appreciation for other people's stuff, because that's part what he's doing. He is drawing attention to art, in general, and to his own, as well. The whole genre is cool. Art for the next generation, a big part of what defines us as human is art. Look at every animal on the earth. Other animals don't make art like us. We do all these things that we do to survive. But art isn't about survival. We need it to stay sane. Allow yourself to be a little bit more than what you are. Art is the way. The power of certain art throughout history actually means stuff. Stonehenge, there's a special thing about that. It still permeates now, thousands of years later. That's what we are doing as artists, is communicating to each other through space and time and history. Art that seems to be on the cutting edge is more digital and technology. Some would have argued that Andy Warhol's stuff isn't actually art. I would disagree. I would say that both of those concepts, digital and physical, are also a part of art. There could be a work of art that doesn't exist, and we can discuss it. We can have the concept, and have a discussion about it. It decays eventually, but what work of art isn't that? Michelangelo and Rembrandt, those guys didn't expect that their art would be around now. The concept would have been absurd. Michelangelo was considered another workman, not a master of all time. Going back to the question, what was the question? The goal has always been to push the limits. Since photography became a thing, we already have something that we can make. A real representation of it, without actually having to do it by hand. Now we can start breaking the rules. They start doing something different, that leads on to these different ideas which keep getting pushed. What is contemporary art? It's the people trying to break the rules of what's already come. How can you do that? It goes back to computers and technology. What qualifies something as art anyway? Does the artist consider it art? Then it is. They don't? Then I guess it's not.